Hi besties, welcome back to another one of my videos. It's my favorite type of videos. We're gonna do a TBR wrap-up video. I read 18 books this month in DNF 1. I'll start with the DNF first, which if you watched my romance reading vlog that I posted this month, this kind of description is on there. I did DNF Not Your Fucking Girl. I explained it in that video, so I won't go into much detail, but there was some scenes that made me very uncomfortable. I didn't really enjoy it. I DNF'd it like 30 pages in, so if that tells you anything. But my only DNF for the whole month. And I had 2 arcs this month, so I'll go over those first. So the first arc I had, it absolutely freaking loved. It's called Hot Root, and it is a football sports romance, and it is so good. The female main character is dipping her toes into the reporting world for sports, and in the book it's a male-dominated field, so she's having trouble, trying to get in and trying to get jobs and everything. And she has an internship, and in their internship she has these boys that are, kind of answering questions for her, making her feel dumb essentially. And there's the male main character who is a football player, a very good one, a very popular one, and it's their relationship together. It was very good. I rated it 4.5 stars. I felt like the plot compared to the spice was perfect. There is spice in it. I would give it like a 3 out of 5 spice rating. It is pretty spicy. It was very well written. It was this author's debut novel, which I always love reading and seeing because it's their first one they ever wrote. It's their baby, so it was very fun. Would recommend if you're looking for a sports romance. Would highly recommend, especially if you're looking for a football one, because it was just so good. I forgot to mention this too, is she is hired to be his assistant, because he needs an assistant because he's been struggling to get the things, remember things, stuff like that. So he hires her as her assistant, and so it's like forced proximity, it's co-workers, it's forbidden technically because they work together. And she's also trying to dip her toes into the sports world with the broadcasting stuff, so she doesn't want him to overshadow her. She got this job because she's dating a famous football player type of thing. So anyways, it was very good. 4.5 stars. Would recommend. The other arc I read was Irresistible Revenge by Amanda Bentley. This one was really good. It has revenge cheating, and I don't necessarily gravitate towards cheating. I don't really like cheating when it comes to books, but this one was revenge cheating. I would check trigger warnings before you go into this book. There is some physical assault and stuff like that, but it's co-workers. It's a novella, so it's very short. A Valentine's romance novella, and it is out. So both of these books are out. Both of these arcs are out already. So if you're interested in either of them, I would highly recommend. But Irresistible Revenge, I did rate this one 4 stars, 5 stars, I can't really remember, but I really enjoyed it for a novella. I have a hard time really rating novellas. There's not a lot of information, and most of the time they're insta love because they have 70 to 100 pages to fall in love. So okay, I'm just gonna go down the list of the books I've read in January, starting from top of when I have them listed in my reading journal to bottom. So the first one I read was Consider Me. This is a hockey sports romance. I rated it 3 stars. It's one of those books that I would recommend, a hockey sports romance if you are in the mood for one of those, but not one that I loved. It was okay. I don't have much else to say about it besides that. I heard the second one is better than the first one, but I have decided just to not continue the series, and I won't be reading the rest of them, but would recommend if you're in the mood for a hockey romance. Next up, I do have the physical copy of I have Flawless by Elsie Silver. This one was also in a reading vlog that I did this month, so you saw my thoughts already. So if you want a more in-depth, definitely go check that video out. But this one was very good. It's a cowboy romance. It's forbidden romance. I'm trying to think of some of the tropes. Forbidden romance, forced proximity. So essentially you have a cowboy bull rider who does some stuff to trash his reputation. The female main character's dad is his PR assistant. I think that's what they're called. Publicist. And so he sends his daughter to essentially go babysit him and try to get him good PR. And so she moves in with him for the summer to try to keep an eye on him and also go on tour with him, stuff like that. So she's taking care of him. So I loved it. I rated it 4.5 stars. I can't wait to read Heartless. Heartless is on my TBR for next month, and I was very pleased. I really liked it, and I can't wait to read the rest of the series. Next up, I have Cross Check My Heart. This one was another hockey romance that I had. I tried to do like a hockey romance month. I think I explained that in my TBR video, but because it's January, I was trying to get like some hockey romances off my TBR. This one I rated 3 stars. This one was very insta-lovey for me, in a sense of like, it was supposed to be like one night stand turned into like one night weekend stand, which was like fine. And then turn of events, he finds out she's Coach's daughter because he's like a hockey player. And so it's like forbidden aspect of it, which was fun. But then it's like, we shouldn't date, but they're gonna date anyways type of thing. I feel like there was no angst. There was no like, we can't be together. It wasn't very, I didn't feel it, if that makes sense. It was kind of like, they're gonna do it no matter what. So like, they were together type of thing. This is another one I would recommend. I don't like insta love. It's not for me. I don't ever feel like the connection between the characters when there's insta love. But that's just me. So this is one I definitely would recommend, but I didn't love, if that makes sense. But I did rate it 3 stars. Do that as you will. I don't have the physical copy on me right now, but I read Black Sheep. This is the last book in that reading vlog, so this is the last repeat of the month. But I rated this one 3.5 stars. This one was good. It's a serial unaliver romance book. It was very fun. I thought there was a little bit more spice than I would have thought there would be. A lot of people compare this book to the Mindfuck series, and I just didn't see it. I love the Mindfuck series. I rated that 5 stars. Like that whole series was a 5-star read for me. I really, really enjoyed it. But Black Sheep was just average to me. Like, I would recommend it, but it has a lot of spice. It's heavy on the spice. So it's more romance than it is like the mystery thriller aspect, and also the political side of it, like the mystery thriller aspect, political side of it is kind of confusing in my opinion. It was kind of hard to follow at the beginning. Maybe that was the me problem, but then when you get towards into it and into the end and stuff, it's easy to follow. The twist at the end did kind of get me, but it wasn't like a aw shock, jaw-dropping twist, if that makes sense. But it was entertainment. I was along for the ride and I enjoyed it. The 7th book I'm going to talk about this month is The Trouble with Hating You. I actually listened to the audiobook of this and I absolutely loved it. One aspect I love about these books is that they're STEM related. So like, she's a biochemical engineer and he is like a lawyer, and essentially you're following a female main character. She's in a very traditional family where her parents set them up to get married, and a lady has to cook and clean and do what ladies should do type of thing. And I really love that aspect of this because our female main character wants nothing to do with that. She wants to go to work. She wants equal cleaning, equal cooking, equal everything. Like, she doesn't need a man to protect her, but she also doesn't need to tend to a man. Like, they are capable type of thing, which I really, really enjoyed in this aspect. I did rate this one 4 stars. I loved the enemies to lovers aspect of this book because they're enemies, but they're not mean. Like, he's not mean to her. She's not mean to him. She's sometimes mean to him, but in like a sassy way, not in a, I'm gonna tear you down and say derogatory things to you. No, it was more of like a, I'm gonna yell at you because I think you think I'm lesser type of enemies to lovers. I don't know how to explain it, but it was good and it was fun, and I really enjoyed this on audio. I listened to it on Spotify, so it was fun and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I read it. 4 stars, would recommend. Next up, I have Gunner by Dr. Rebecca Sharp. This is book 3 of this series, and this is the book that I highly anticipated not liking in this series because it is accidental pregnancy, which I don't like, but she did it. Like, this author, she did it. Like, it was so good. I actually felt the connection with them. Like, he was trying to be in her life, not in a relationship, not in a sexual way. Like, literally just wanted to be there for her and her baby and his baby. Like, and it just felt like they slowly fell in love with each other with just the forced, I guess there's forced proximity because they have to be together because they're having this baby together. But it didn't feel like a forced, I'm going to fall in love with you because we're having a baby. It was a, I'm falling in love with you because of the way that you are. And I really enjoyed that aspect, and I feel like most accidental pregnancies miss that target. They just make it so, like, they have a baby together, they have to be together type of thing. This didn't do it. Like, this was so good. And there is also like a mystery in all of these books because the brothers who the books are about, they own a protective service company, and he actually gets hired undercover to protect her. He doesn't know that's who he's protecting when he takes on this job. She shows up from the airport and he realizes, oh, that's the girl I slept with like a month ago and she's pregnant. Is it mine? Type of thing. And it goes from there. And I really enjoyed it and I really loved it. And I would recommend this series 100 times over. I loved the first 2 books. The last book is going to be my absolute favorite. I already know. The last book's male main character is a character that's based off of Spencer Reid, so that's really interesting. I've never read a book like that, so I'm super excited to see that. That's also on my February TBR, so hopefully that one's coming soon, but I love this one. 4.5 stars. Next up, I don't have, but I rated 2 stars. I annotated it and sent it to my bestie Katie. Everyone say hi, bestie Katie. Okay, so I rated this book 2 stars. I did not necessarily like it. I don't think I'd recommend it, but it just felt very Wattpad-y, which, don't get me wrong, nothing against Wattpad, but it felt like I was back and I was 15, 16, 17 again, binge reading Wattpad for a free romance book, you know, like it just felt very immature. The characters did not feel college at all. They felt immature, like, and the main character was just very like straightforward, like, you're gonna be my girl type of thing, and I just didn't like it. I rated it 2 stars, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. It is a sports romance. I think she plays volleyball. She's gymnastics. I think it's volleyball, maybe gymnastics. I don't know yet. Not yet. I don't know. Next, I finished Fated Throne, Zodiac Academy book 6. I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail about this. You either read it or you haven't, or you don't want to. I rated this one 5 stars. I think I meant to rate it 4, but my journal says 5. This one was good. I can't go into any detail because it's like the 6th book of the series and there's a lot to unpack and a lot that goes on, and like I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you're interested in reading Zodiac Academy, I would definitely recommend it. I mean, I'm 6 books in and they're 1,000 pages and I'm recommending it. Like, they're good. Like, I very much enjoy them. So if you're needing a sign to start Zodiac Academy, take this as your sign. This one I read is the Fucking Wrong Number. This one was fun, dark romance book. I rated it 3 stars, and I would recommend if you like dark romances, but it's like a stalker romance. So I rated it 3 stars because it is a stalker romance with the male main character, but what I didn't like about it is it's like insta love. Like, if you've ever read like a stalker romance, the only other one I can compare this to is like Haunting and Hunting Adeline, and like Zaid Meadows is like obsessed with the female main character, but he's not like in love. Like, he is in love, but he isn't. Like, the way that Zaid goes about it is like he's stalking her because she intrigues him, yada yada. If you read it, you know. If you know, you know. This book, though, he was like, saw a picture of her and like instantly was like super weird about it. Like, I didn't like the infatuation that came, and he hadn't even like spoke with her or like seen her in person, anything like that. So like, it was very too much insta-lovey, especially in Haunting and Hunting Adeline. There's a lot of mystery. There's a lot of build-up. In this book, it's like the 2nd chapter. You go right in. Like, he's in love with her. He wants to meet her. He stalks her. Like, I don't know. It just wasn't my favorite, but it's not bad. It's a good, average, dark romance, stalker, definitely check trigger warnings type of book. Next, I have Sky in the Deep. I read and I absolutely love this. It's a YA romance. I've never wanted to read a book by this author. I just thought maybe they were kind of overhyped on social media because I do see a lot about them, and none of the descriptions have ever really intrigued me or interested me, so I've never wanted to pick up a book. I actually annotated this for my friends. We're doing a couple pass around books that we're all annotating together and reading, so this one was one of those. I rated it 4 stars. It's a cute little YA fantasy romance book. I think if you're looking for like a no spice YA badass female main character, male main character type of story, I would recommend this one. So next, I have Dear Ava. This thoroughly surprised me. I had never seen this book anywhere. I bought it. I actually thrifted this like special edition copy, and I absolutely love this book. There is a pen pal trope but you get dual point of view, so it's not really too big on the pen pal because you know the male main character, which is fine. That's usually how pen pal romances work, but in this one there was a mystery aspect of who the pen pal could be, but you know, because you get the dual point of view. But I rated this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and their like story, I would check trigger warnings. There is some heat to the story, and it does deal with some heavy topics. The female main character does go through some very heavy stuff, and you kind of see her journey in the past of her going through it, and then her journey, you know, of coming out of it and trying to find and navigate life in the school that everything went down in, and with the people that, you know, didn't believe her. So it's a very heavy topic book, but I really enjoyed it, and I really loved their story. Next up, I'm gonna do these 3 right in order because they're all from the same hockey romance series. But first up, we have Puck Shy. I rated this one 4 stars. The female main character and the male main character randomly meet on the side of the road. One has a car broken down, the other one almost hits him, and they meet, and then they don't exchange any numbers or anything. They spend the night, a 4-hour car ride together back home, and then they never talk again. Weeks go by, and they find each other on a dating app, and he knows who she is, but she has no idea who he is. So it's their story of that happening. I rated this one 4 stars because I absolutely enjoyed it. I really liked the characters. I really liked the story, the banter. These books, and it's a common theme with all of them, they have like the best mixture of spice and plot and romance, in my opinion. Like, it's just very believable and very enjoyable. So this one was 4 stars. This is Blind Pass. I rated this one 5 stars. This was my favorite one yet. I've only read 3 of them, but this one is definitely top of my list. This one is a accidental marriage. So they go to Vegas at the end of the first book, and these two kind of have some like tension between them in the first book, and then this starts off in Vegas. They get drunk and they get accidentally married. So they're kind of navigating being accidentally married, and he is a hockey player, so he gets a lot of like PR press and everything like that. So he's trying to avoid like negative press, so his coach isn't like you're benched or you're off the team type of thing. I really enjoyed it. I really loved Ryan, the female main character, and the male main character is just like grumpy sunshine. It's just so good, and my favorite of the series so far. I have One Timer. This was actually a 3-star read for me, and this one also was an accidental pregnancy, but I don't think it was done as well as I would hope it would be. I feel like when it comes to accidental pregnancy, I get into these feelings of they are only together because of the baby, which in this case, it felt like there was attraction, and I just don't know if it was deep enough for me to really believe that they were in love with each other. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being picky because I read such a good accidental pregnancy one this month. I'm not really sure, but I would recommend this whole series, and I would recommend this book. It just wasn't for me. Next up, I have Ledge. This book was a 2-star read for me. I buddy read this with one of my friends. It's about this girl who lives on a ledge, and every year the glaciers who live across this huge chasm in like the mountain come over and pick some of them up, essentially to sacrifice them. And she, in the beginning, is picked up and brought over to sacrifice. And it's her story of her like trying to escape, essentially. And I just felt like the female main character was really whiny. She threw lots of fits throughout the entire book. The male main character was just like he was trying to be grumpy, broody, but it wasn't working for what was going on. But I did love the side characters. They get 2 stars for the side characters because they had some very, very fun side characters, and one of them my absolute favorite. So 2 stars. For January, I read Gothicana. This is a dark mystery romance. The mystery aspect of it is probably the best part of this book. The romance was kind of cringe, but in a way of like it makes you laugh and it's like entertainment, not in a way of like it's like I don't even want to pick up this book or read this book type of romance, if that makes sense. Like there's some one-liners in here where I was like if anyone ever said that to me, I would throw up. But it's fine. It was fine. The mystery of the book was fun. I rated this one 3.5 stars. I don't know if I said that. But this one was just a fun mystery. It's set in like a dark academy. It's professor student, but the professor doesn't even really feel like a professor because he was like a student working on something for his master's or something, like a TA, and the professor that he was like a TA for like up and leaves, so he becomes the professor for the class. So it's like fake professor almost, because he's so young and like so not like inexperienced, I would say. But and she's like a new student, and she's very sheltered, and with like just her mom being like homeschooled and stuff, and so she's not like really known for anything. And there's like underlying tones of definitely like mental disorders and stuff like that. So I would definitely check trigger warnings, since there is a bunch of triggers in here, like very, 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 very extreme triggers. So I would definitely check those and like take them seriously. But definitely would recommend, if you like dark romance books with a little bit of mystery, I would recommend it. It was fun, it was entertaining, like I had the time of my life. So those are the 19 books that I read / DNF'd. If you read any of these and have opinions, I would love to hear them, so put those down in the comments. But thank you for bearing with me on this video. Make sure you like and are subscribed, and I will see you next time.